Hi, guys.
Hi, Mom.
Oh my Lord. I didn't know this. I would have fixed my hair.
Oh, yeah.
How's that looking, Andrew?
Feels like
That looks great. You guys are perfectly centered. The sound is good. Can you guys both just give me a hello?
Hi.
Hi.
He has a deep voice. Say
A
hi
little
again.
bit more
Hello.
light on him.
All right, Kavitha's gonna step in here. My name's Andrew. I'm gonna step to the side, and she'll be asking any
And we can
questions.
see them down there. Okay. Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Thanks so much for agreeing to do this.
Oh, no problem.
So we're doing this story on military children, and so many people have different kind of opinions or they don't know what military children deal with, and so we thought it would be cool just to ask someone. So can you start by each of you saying and spelling your names?
My name's Tara Howes, Tarahowes.
My name is Elijah Howes, Elijahhowes.
Which grade are you in, Eli?
I'm in 5th grade.
And how old are you?
I'm 11.
And tell me which school you're in and where it is.
I go to 4th Sam Houston Elementary.
Say it a little slower, sweetie.
I go to 4th Sam Houston Elementary in San Antonio, Texas.
Yeah. Can you tell me all the different states you've lived at?
I didn't always live in states. I've lived in different countries. I've lived in Korea. I've lived in Louisiana, Texas, Florida, Arizona, Okinawa, in Japan. All those different places.
And what did you like and what did you not like about it?
Well,
Moving so much. I mean, you're just 11.
Well, moving, you're gonna meet new friends, get to go to new places, but you also lose friends, and yeah, you miss all places.
So I hear you're getting ready to move now.
Mhm.
Where are you going to go to?
I'm going to Fort Knox, Kentucky. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit, when you said that you move and you lose friends and you kind of gain friends, tell me about like something that was really difficult for you with the move, either a friend you left behind or a place or something.
Well, a favorite place that I used to go to, it was a lot of fun. It was the park that we used to go to right beside my school. I miss it because there was a lot of trees to climb on.
A lot of what?
A lot of trees. Yeah.
Oh, trees to climb on.
Yep, love them.
And which place was this in?
In Okinawa. Okinawa, Japan.
What was it like to study abroad and then come to study in like a school in the US?
Well, it was different because I learned different things in Okinawa. Then when I moved here, I learned the opposite of what we learned there.
So give me some examples.
In Okinawa, in language class, we'd learn Japanese, and now we wouldn't learn anything else, but we just have certain subjects. We don't learn any new languages or how to say anything. No. Nothing like
What
that.
about kids? Were they different, or the culture, like on the streets? Like, give me 2 other examples of differences.
Kids are a little bit meaner here. In Okinawa, you didn't really have to worry about when it gets dark, kids gonna come, they'll be like, "Who are you?" No. Just kids are nicer in Okinawa.
The Japanese kids or the American kids?
The Japanese kids. Probably because they don't talk as much.
Is that because you lived in Okinawa, you lived on base, and over here you live not on base? Or are you living on base now?
I live on base now, and I lived on base there. But even off base there, it was still nicer.
Give me an example of say when you met a kid or something, and you met a kid here, what would be an example? Tell me a story or give me an example.
Some kids here are very spectacle.
Are very what?
Spectacle.
What's that word?
I don't know.
Oh,
Give an example.
Skeptical?
Skeptical.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't even know. Okay. Yeah, they get very I don't know the word. They get very interested in kids and they want to learn more about them here. And then in Okinawa, they're like, hey, you're my new friend.
Sweetie, I didn't understand. So I understood what you mean in Okinawa, but over here, when are kids not interested, or you think they're kind of suspicious of you, or what? Like, give me an example. Don't worry about the word. Tell me how you feel.
They're more suspicious of people than they are in Okinawa. So
They used to mention at the parks in Okinawa when they ran into Japanese kids, they just wanted to play. They didn't there wasn't a lot of talking about things. They just played. And when they moved here, kids wanted to know like where they came from, what they were doing, and there was more of a suspicious like, why are you at my park? So it was just a little different. They were used to the kids in Japan just being willing to play, right?
yes, ma'am.
They loved Japan, but that's because it was different, So you're gonna miss San Antonio too, right? What about your friends?
Nice ones.
The nice ones.
Ones that aren't as mean to me now.
He's ready for the next move, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you nervous at all? I mean, going into a new situation, a new school where you don't know anyone. How do you feel when you move?
If you're nervous, you can tell us.
No, it's because I make friends very easily. And so, even if they're like really suspicious of me, I really gain their trust easily.
What kind of do you use? Like what, I don't want to say strategy, but how do you make friends? Because there are a lot of children who can't.
Well, you gotta be really friendly and don't feel like that you're gonna don't feel like you're gonna be act all weird around them. Just act normal, like you usually do.
And you think that's the secret?
Mm-hmm.
When did you find out that you were going to move to Kentucky?
After we found out that we're not gonna move to Korea.
When did you?
I don't know.
That's where he wanted to move.
What was it about going to Korea that you wanted to go there?
It's because that's where I was born. So I didn't really know a lot about it, and I didn't get to learn more about it. So, yeah.
They were very excited to try to move back overseas. They like the adventure, I think, these guys.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
And what do you feel about going to Kentucky?
Well, I don't know a lot about Kentucky. I haven't studied it in social studies or stuff like that. No. Well, it's because it's still in America, and I don't like America more than overseas. Just saying.
You don't like
No,
America.
I don't. No, seriously. People are meaner here. Mean.
I don't know. Just depends on the place.
Yes. Precisely.
Have you ever been bullied?
No, I haven't.
You haven't?
Has anyone in your family?
Yes.
Speak up.
My sister, she was bullied by some girls. They're really mean. Yeah.
So you understand it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
What did they say to her?
They call her ugly, and they call her fat, and they hit her head against the lockers.
Is that because she's like a new kid, or?
No, it's probably because they're jealous of her. Seriously.
How old is she?
She's 18.
And so is that where a lot of your where your feelings come from, that it's not as friendly here as it is overseas?
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm assuming your dad is in the military. What does he do?
He is an electrical engineer, and so... What are you laughing about?
He's not an electrical
Yes, he
engineer.
is. Yes, he is, Mom. That's what he... Yeah. Literally.
Okay.
Yeah. He fixes the computers, and then he just got a new thing. Then he has to go fix his guns and inspect cars in other places. Did I say other twice? Yeah, in other places.
I was going to say, Mom, what's your answer to what your husband does?
He's in communications, and so he just provides secure communications. And then here, he has a different job where he does travel to different countries to do different kinds of inspections.
Has your dad ever been deployed away from you?
Yes, he has. When we were in Arizona, he got deployed to Iraq for 9 months.
No, it was 12.
Yeah. 12? Really?
Yeah, it was 12 months.
I said it was 9.
What was that like for you, Eli?
Well, Mom was usually the one that were yelling at us, saying, "Go clean the house." So she was like the dad of the house at the moment. And then when Dad came back, he was the one that kept on yelling at us for going to clean the house. And so yeah.
That's how he remembers deployment.
What was the hardest thing about your dad going away?
We didn't get to see him as much because we only got to like video cam with him every like 2 months, right?
No, it was a lot because of his job.
And then most of the time we didn't get to do it because Mom couldn't figure it out. Yeah, you know that's right.
He was 4 then. His memories are a little shaky.
What do you feel about them? Do you tell people you're a military kid?
No, they just assume that I'm a military kid because I'm on base. I ask the other kids. They don't ask me.
But you go to a school, like there's no school on base, right? So you go to a public school?
No, well we have bases on base and
It's a public school, but it is on base. So it is all military or military affiliated kids, like Department of Defense children. So all his schoolmates are military or Department of Defense kids.
Are you proud of saying you're a military kid?
Yes, I am. I'm very proud to say that I'm a military kid, so that people will know that who I am and what I do with my family.
What makes you different? Why are you proud? Like, what makes you different?
I'm not as mean as other kids. I'm nicer than them. I usually I'm not always so skeptical. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
I'm suspicious of people. I just assume that they're nice. If they aren't, then they're not.
Are you talking about the kids off base parks that you talk to?
No.
Oh, okay.
On base and off base.
That's fun. She needs to see you.
Do you think, does anyone, when they ask, so no one asks you about being a military kid? Or I was wondering what kind of questions you have got in different countries.
I don't get a lot of questions. In Okinawa, we went to a park and there was a little kid. We hanged out with him. He didn't really talk because he only spoke Japanese. Yeah.
What about here? Does anybody ever ask you if your dad's in the military?
No, I don't. They just assume they just ask, "What does your dad do?" And then they'd probably know that my dad's in the military. And
Do people usually think that's a good thing or a not good thing?
they usually think it's a good thing because then they're like, "Oh, it's a person that we don't have to be all like suspicious about. His dad's in the military. He's a nice kid." So, yeah.
So you think the kind of stereotype of a military kid is someone who's friendly, who's a good kid?
Yes, ma'am.
When your dad was away, was it different? Did you see differences between how your sister behaved and how you behaved?
Yeah, she was a little bit more mean since Mom wasn't always around to like tell us to stop. So
He has 3 sisters, so the poor kid is stuck in a home with a bunch of women.
All older than him?
Yes. In San Antonio, I'll just put out there, there's 3 military bases here. It's a huge military presence. So there's not a lot of questions that he field. I think as we move, he's going to find that more prevalent because there's not going to be as many bases in the state that we're at. So here, it's not strange that people are military. They retire here. They're everywhere. Every restaurant gives like a discount. It's a very military-friendly place to live. So it'll be different as we move and how he'll figure that out. And I'm glad you brought that up because we've never really talked about that, having to field those questions. So that'll be something to discuss.
Do you have any concerns about the moves, or do you think it's great he gets to experience different places?
I think it's fun to experience different places, and I used to it a little. And when we move, it's a little bit harder because my mom's really stressed, and when she's stressed, we're stressed most of the time.
I like moving. I like different places and new things. So I just try to fake my kids out. So even if I was stressed out, I'm just like, it's gonna be awesome. And we Google map, places that we can go that we've never been to. We did that yesterday. We walked around D.C. because we've never been to the East Coast. We've only lived where I-10 runs through or overseas. So that's going to be interesting, getting to visit all those states. So we just try to put a positive spin on it. I mean, there's good and bad for them. One of my daughters hates change, and so that's a hard one. She's in high school. She's a 17-year-old. And so that it's always interesting with her. So we have to immediately jump in with clubs and sports and try to find her a group. He's very easygoing. He just blends everywhere he goes and makes a lot of friends. And then my college-age daughter, well, that'll be an interesting transition as well. So the other two little ones, they're pretty easygoing. Are you excited about moving? What are you excited about? DC?
No.
What? Snow. That is what they're excited about, actually. They haven't seen snow in, oh my gosh, 10 years?
No,
You don't even remember.
7 years.
So it's been a while.
Oh my gosh, we've just finished having so much snow. Eli, you can take all of it.
She'll take your 80-degree days. Where are you at?
DC.
Oh, see? She's at your favorite place.
Mm-hmm.
We just seriously walked all around looking at things. He was like, oh my goodness.
Well, the next time you come, you've got to come visit me. We can do an in-studio interview. How's that, Eli?
I think that sounds good.
Andrew, anything else?
I don't think so.
You talked about a lot of the positives of moving, Mom.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the things you worry about, the unique situation that your children are military kids, so they move a lot? And do you have any concerns at all, either academics or social, emotional, or...
I do. This is not like our first go-around. We've moved a lot. So the things I worry about are always getting in a good school, their teachers. But a lot of that is alleviated if you just do your homework. So the military provides a lot of transitioning. Actually, we have a person here that helps with that. So they help with the transitions to make sure that they are getting into the classes that they need. They have agreements through different states to make sure your kids aren't going to not get a class that they needed or that they graduate on time, even missing credits. So, I mean, I am a glass half full kind of a person, which works for this lifestyle. But either way, there are a lot of avenues to go about to make things easy for transition. So they cry, they miss their friends. It's easier now with the internet and this. If we can talk to you, then we just talk to our friends in different states. So just finding them friends is a huge thing, and I make that a huge priority. We try to find them places to hang out and people to meet, and just make sure it's okay. The transition here was difficult coming from Japan for my oldest daughter. She was just used to a different climate at school, so she had to learn how to get along. I think military kids grow up to be the kind of people who can get along in any situation. You can drop my kids in any country, and they would probably be fine to figure their way out with little hand gestures and just miming, You'd be all right. So, I mean, I think it's cool that they get that experience. I never was on an airplane. I never flown until I was 21, and I was moving to Germany with my husband and my daughter. So I lived in one state, 2 cities, and never left. And so they're just living. The family situation stinks. You don't get to see your family as much. But with your accent, I'm thinking you don't see your family as much. Like, you feel the pain.
Yes, we kindred spirits.
Right. So, I mean, there's good and bad. So there's that, but your family becomes all the people you meet. So it's pretty, I mean, I think it's fun. My husband married me and said, I'll take you around the world. I'll show you the world. He's such a dork. But we really have seen the world. So in Europe and then Asia. Asia's our favorite.
Mhm.
So I don't know. Kentucky's going to be different for a lot of reasons. The cold I'm not excited about. I saw your winters. It makes me nervous. So I don't know. We'll make the best of it. Cute snow boots. That's how you make that positive. So,
How long have you been in the military for? Oh, your husband been in the military for?
22 years, and we've been married for 18. And our first duty station was overseas together. So we just started out together. So it's good time. It's good stuff.
Eli, tell me, if you had to meet like a civilian like me, right, who is not from a military family, doesn't know anything about the military culture, how would you describe like who a military child is?
I don't really know how to describe a military child because every kid's different, so they have different personality. So,
What are some adjectives I would say?
adjectives.
How would
Adjectives.
you describe your military experience to a civilian?
There's a lot of moving around.
What
You
else?
make friends, then you lose friends, then you make friends again. It's sort of like a repeat thing. Yeah. You get to see new places.
Do you think you're better with change or worse than like kids who never move? Like your cousins who've never left?
I think I'm better with change than just staying in one spot. I think it'd be nice to know for one spot because there'd be what it'd be like if when it gets cold, when it gets hot during the summer, and like how bad it can get in weather. I think that those are some positives of staying in one spot.
And when you grow up, Eli, would you like to join the military?
No, I want to become an electrical engineer. Ugh.
Just like your dad.
Yeah, sort of.
Would you like to be an electrical engineer in the military?
No, I don't know. Actually, I haven't thought about it that much, but I know that I like doing electrical things and stuff like that.
I think a lot of kids do tend to follow their parents. Like at the school, the ROTC program, the JROTC is huge, and kids are going into that to go into the military. Our kids are funny. I think they are ready to settle down. They're ready to stick in a place. One of my daughters says she's never moving. Wherever she goes to college, she's going to live in that town, and she is never leaving. So depending on their personalities, I think what you have, the grass is always greener. It was awesome for me my husband to be in the military and to travel all over, and then my kids live that life and would like to stay in the same house like my parents. So I mean, it's always more fun for the other people. I think they're ready he's going to retire after Kentucky, and that is very scary to me, to not be able to move and be stuck in one house. I just don't even know how that works, so that's going to be very strange. But they're excited about it. Are you excited?
Anything else?
Oh,
You think?
so.
Could you give us your email address, and then we'll send, if we have follow-ups, which I don't think we'll have, but otherwise just to tell you when it's going to air.
Okay. It's Howes, Howes, family, the number 6, @gmail.com.
No spaces.
No spaces. You better
Thank
watch
you.
what you ask for. We're going to be coming to see you then in D.C.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right, we're going to stop the broadcast rolling. We'll do another connection in just a minute if we're ready.
Okay.